Last week, you came up with a topic for your narrative writing. Remember, narrative writing tells a story, so you are going to be telling a story about yourself in this assignment, but narrative writing doesn't always have to be about yourself. It can also be about characters that you know of or that you made up. So narrative writing could be about somebody else also. Just to remind you, when we're writing a narrative, the first thing we need to do is introduce who is in the story and where the story takes place. So we're thinking about story structure. In the beginning, we're going to introduce a problem. In the middle, we'll talk about the actions and reactions of the characters in response to the problem. So you're going to be thinking about using those sequence words. At the end of your writing, you'll tell how the problem was solved. So again, we are really thinking of story structure. Before we dive into our question, I want to look at the writing rubric. We're going to look at what it takes to get a 4 for each section. Your narrative writing is going to be scored out of 10, so you're going to get 4 points for purpose, focus, and organization, 4 points for evidence and elaboration, 4 plus 4 is 8, and then conventions, which is punctuation, capitalization, correct sentence formation, that's 2 points. So 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 2 is 10. Okay, let's talk about what we need to do to get a 10. So your narrative needs to be clearly and consistently focused. We want to make sure we're staying on topic. So if you're talking about a time that you were really nervous to start kindergarten, then you definitely don't want to start talking about 2nd grade and 3rd grade in your writing. You want to stay focused. You want to make sure that it's clearly and effectively organized. So don't tell me the end of the story before you tell me the beginning, right? You also want to make sure that it's complete, meaning it does have an end to it. You did tell me how the story ends. You didn't just drop it off because you got bored with writing. You want it to include most of the following. So you're recounting, summarizing an event or sequence of real or imagined events. So like I said, it could be a story about you, or it could be a story about characters you made up. It could be real or imagined. Just keep in mind that you're recounting the events, which means summarizing. So like we said, you're going to be focusing on those sequence words. You want to talk about the actions of the characters, the words of the characters. Like I said before, the setting at the beginning of the story, you want to make sure you're telling the story in order. And then, of course, we want to have closure, so some sort of ending. So this whole section looks confusing, but we just want to make sure, 1, we're staying on topic, we're organized, and we're using those sequence words to structure our writing. All right, evidence and elaboration. The narrative is well developed, so you want to make sure that you're including everything. You don't want to just write a couple sentences and be done. You want to use descriptive details throughout the story. Effective use of details to describe actions, thoughts, and feelings. So remember, we talk about characters' actions, thoughts, and feelings all the time. Now, instead of identifying them, you are writing about them yourself. think about the dialogue. You want to tell me what these characters are saying. And of course, your vocabulary needs to make sense to the situation. Last, let's look at what you need to do to make sure you get a 2 out of 2 for conventions. I want to point out that you're allowed to have some minor errors. So if you're missing some capitalization and punctuation, that's okay. Adequate means good enough. Use of punctuation, capitalization, sentence formation, and spelling. You're only in 2nd grade, so you're really just learning how to become a writer. So it's okay if you have mistakes. You can still get a 10 out of 10 on this writing. So to sum everything up, you want to focus on staying focused, staying on topic, making sure you're listing all of your important details. You want to think of story structure, the characters, the setting, and the plot, the beginning, middle, and end, the problem and solution. You want to use those sequence words. Tell me about the characters' actions, thoughts, and feelings. And again, it's okay if you have some mistakes. So your question is, tell about a time you were nervous about something like Pete. You're going to be spending the next 2 days doing your writing, so you have 2 days to really make this the best narrative you can. I would start today by introducing your characters and your setting. Tomorrow, start to think of the sequence of events. How was your problem solved in the end? I know you were nervous about something, but did it end up being okay? I can't wait to read your writing, and please let me know if you need any help.